So, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. After 18 months of all publicly known witnesses being operated by founder Tony Churyumov, we finally arrived at the moment where I can introduce to you, the community, our first decentralized witness candidate. He's from the Netherlands and his name is Rogier Eijkelhof. Rogier, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Rogier. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been a software developer for the biggest part of my life. I also make my living. I have a software company. And I've been introduced to cryptocurrency, to Bitcoin at the time in 2012. And it's
pretty early.
Pretty early. And it has been fascinating me ever since.
All right.
And I've seen all the developments, and I mean, at first there was just Bitcoin, and then some altcoins came, and a lot of altcoins came. And I'm very excited about the whole revolution that crypto is promising to bring us.
All right. Well, we can talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
I have to say, you are actually the person who introduced me to Byteball, so
Yeah.
I'm very grateful
Yeah.
For that. That's
Yeah.
a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
But you said you're a software developer. Is that still what you do, or do you do other stuff now?
My main job as a programmer. It's actually not crypto related. I have a software company in imaging and graphics processing.
All right.
And I'm doing a lot of crypto things on the side.
All right, but no crypto development.
A little bit. Well, I've also been involved with Bitkassa, our own Bitcoin payment processor,
Right.
and broker service.
Yeah.
And I've done part of the technical part of Bitkassa.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about that business? So the software company Bitkassa, where is it located geographically?
Yeah, sure.
What do you do there?
It's located here in Arnhem.
That's in the Netherlands.
It's
right?
in the Netherlands, yeah, definitely. In the well-known Arnhem Bitcoin City. And actually our project Arnhem Bitcoin City was the reason why we started Bitkassa.
Right.
At the time, that was in early 2014, we were very enthusiastic about Bitcoin, except you couldn't hardly do anything with it yet. And we wanted to try and see if we could get some local pubs and bars to begin with to accept Bitcoin. Because
Right.
all this is all theoretical, but it's really nice if you can actually pay your beer with Bitcoin, for example.
Yeah.
In order to make that process a little bit easier, we started Bitkassa, which is like a tool for merchants to really easily accept Bitcoin without the hassle or risk or volatility and all the hassle.
Nice.
Yeah.
So actual adoption of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, the adoption of Bitcoin was and actually still is our main goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And how many merchants did you manage to get involved in?
Well, here in Arnhem, in the meantime, we're like almost 4 years later now, over 100.
All right.
Almost 100,
Nice.
120, I think, by now. And in total throughout Europe, I guess about 400 or 500. And that also includes some big web shops.
Okay.
But we mainly try to focus on brick and mortar shops because it helps for getting more publicity for cryptocurrency. You know, if people actually see crypto
Yeah.
being used in front of them for regular purchases, that makes it less theoretical and more actually working and practical.
Okay. And how big is your team? How many people work for
We
Bitkassa?
were at 3 people.
3 people.
We founded it with the 3 of us, and
Okay.
we still are with the 3 of us.
Oh, okay, great. And the software company?
The software company is now with 5 people.
Ah,
Originally founded it with 4, and so
that's mostly online sales, probably.
that's pretty much only online sales. Yeah.
All right, great, nice.
And we also accept Bitcoin there.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
next question,
Yeah,
but
of course.
obviously
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
What is your vision on how crypto is going to evolve? I mean, well, it's been around for almost 10 years now, and a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
But what do you see happening in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I'm very convinced we're still in the early phases of. It's still in its infancy of cryptocurrency. Pretty much like the internet was in like the early 90s.
Right.
For most, I mean, there's a lot of tech-savvy people who came into this, a lot of traders and people who were trying to get rich quick.
Yep.
Some made it, some didn't, and but I think for the average Joe, you know, for the common masses, for the big market, it's still like way out there. And most people are clueless about how our current financial system works.
Right.
And they're also clueless about the importance that cryptocurrency has to bring to this.
And how do you see this changing? I mean,
Well,
why would it change and how?
I think cryptocurrency will become more known. It will go more mainstream, both from investors, but hopefully also with users. But this is a slow process. It takes time. Just like the internet took a lot of time before.
Yes.
It became massively adopted. Right now everybody has got instant messaging and email and whatever. But I mean, that took like 20-25 years.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
Yeah, but I definitely see this happening for crypto as well. And furthermore, what I also see happening is there's no doubt going to be another huge financial crisis in the regular monetary system. And traditionally, people used to flee into classic safe havens like gold and silver. Well, in a lot of aspects, cryptocurrency is like a commodity as well. So my assumption is a lot of people will secure their wealth into cryptocurrency as well.
Okay.
Right now, it's considered a very risky, volatile investment, which it is, of course.
Yeah.
But compared to some fiat currencies already, for example, in Venezuela and Greece, and, Turkey, and, Argentina, and Zimbabwe, and I'm afraid this is going to play out in more and more countries, also in the West. So.
Okay. Another question about the current state of the market. What are your favorite crypto projects besides Byteball?
Besides Byteball, well, originally I started with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the only thing there was, and I'm still a big fan of Bitcoin. Something I also find very interesting is Ethereum, because it was the first, well, I can't even call it just an altcoin, because it's more than that, but it was the first crypto project, let's call it that actually offered something more than just a clone of Bitcoin. Because basically 99% of all altcoins are copy and paste clones of Bitcoin that really don't add anything.
Right, they just change a little bit
that
here
tweak a
and
few
there.
parameters and some
That's
pre-mined
about it.
shitload of coins, but it's mostly are frankly useless pump and dump shitcoins.
Right, agreed. Oh yeah, I also agree that Ethereum is very interesting, also when you compare it to Byteball.
Yeah.
Why do you actually like Byteball?
What I find very interesting about Byteball is that as one of the very few cryptocurrencies out there, it actually tries to solve the consensus and decentralization issue in a completely different way than Bitcoin does. Almost every altcoin out there is blockchain based, some with different parameters, some with some smart tweaks, but down to the bottom it's still the same.
Yeah.
And Byteball does it fundamentally different. And I see some big advantages there in the way Byteball does it. I also see some unique challenges there, but it stands out to the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And a related question: when and how did you actually find out about Byteball? I already said I found it out through you,
yeah.
but how did you find it?
Yeah, somebody in some cryptocurrency related chat on Telegram tipped me.
Okay.
There was going to be like this Byteball project was running, and you could get sign your address, and you can get some free bytes. And what I liked about it was that it's not like an ICO where people just try to grab money as much as possible. No, it was like set up in a way to stimulate a growing user base. So I joined in that, and I got myself a few bytes, and yeah, that's how it started.
What do you think could be most improved about Byteball?
What I like about Byteball is that it's technology first and marketing later. Technology is great. It has been working with an actual working wallet from day one. Now it needs more, marketing. I don't like the phrase marketing so much, but more like helping, getting more awareness, creating more acceptance, basically making it more attractive for users to give Byteball a try.
Right. And have you heard about the youth-a-thons we're doing at the moment?
Yeah.
What do you think about those?
Yeah, great initiative because it triggers people not to invest to get rich quick, but actually create something. Do some innovation, creativity, really contribute to the project. And I think that's a great way to get people involved.
Yeah. And do you have any other ideas for us how we could get more user awareness or
obviously getting more acceptance is great for the awareness, but it's a little bit of a chicken and egg problem to get more more payments being done in Byteball, you need more merchants, but also
Right.
more users. So
But you could help us out with that, right?
definitely, yeah. Yeah, I sure. I mean, I hope
Yeah.
we can integrate Byteball in Bitcast as well, and it will immediately add hundreds of merchants to.
Right,
to accept
exactly.
Byteball. Yeah.
That's great. What are your thoughts about the witness system, the consensus mechanism, and why do you want to become a witness?
Well, first of all, I think it's a very original and interesting approach. Like I said, it's totally different than the typical blockchain approach, which is also brilliant in its own way. But you know, there's pros and cons to each. And for example, the big power consumption, the electricity consumption of especially the Bitcoin blockchain
Yeah,
is of course, well, you can say a problem. I wouldn't say it's a waste of electricity because we buy an incredibly secure, trustworthy, immutable network. with all
no,
that.
I agree with that. Yeah,
But it would be great if there's another way to attain that kind of trust or trustlessness actually. That doesn't cost so much natural resources.
Right.
And the witness system may be just that. And why I want to be a witness? Well, you know, like I said, I like Byteball and I hope to see it grow and see it getting some more adoption. Obviously, the concern of people right now is Byteball is 100% centralized because all
Right.
the nodes are controlled by Tony,
yeah,
which is of course the way he planned to. At first, he only
Yeah, to roll it out, yeah.
and gradually roll it out. And I think it's a great process. So I'm doing my part and
Yeah.
become a witness. Yeah.
well, we're obviously very happy with that, but it took quite a lot of time. I mean, Byteball was launched Christmas Day 2016,
Yeah.
and up till now we've only had anonymous witness candidates,
Yeah.
not anonymous.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think the project is relatively unknown, and maybe people don't like the idea of putting their name on it. Or I guess for a lot of people, cryptocurrency is sort of intrinsically anonymous, which it's not. Well,
No.
some are, but I don't know. It's a different approach, and maybe
Right.
people need some time to get used to it.
Did you have any doubts? Did you have to overcome something to finally say, okay, I want to be a witness? Or was it a time matter or something else entirely?
Mostly time matter, yeah. No, I don't really have doubts. I'm not exactly looking for fame or becoming a known figure in the crypto space or whatever, but
No.
it's, I guess it's a good thing to put your name on something and actually,
Endorse it.
endorse it and put some trust on the table. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it's great. Without people like you, we could never decentralize. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's really important. But
Yeah.
for me, especially because I'm talking to different witness candidates all over the world.
Yeah.
And, well, it's very important to get to know the feelings
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
the decisions.
Yeah, sure.
So,
yeah, yeah.
very
And I
interesting.
think, from the other hand, there will be people saying, yeah, but this is not really decentralized. There's like 12 figures, just like 12 banks or something, and this is completely not true. I don't want to stress that fact.
Yeah.
This fact. In the end, it's all community consensus, and if the community at large decides we no longer want to put up with this or this witness, or we're gonna want to get rid of Tony or whatever, in the end, if the majority decides so, they can choose to start a new set of witness nodes or a new bootstrap list, or unlike the banking system where you are 100% tied and dependent on the banks, or otherwise there's no money or wire transfer for you whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's completely different here. So
Oh yeah, totally
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and there's also this big misconception about witnesses being able to change transactions or anything. That's
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
not
yeah,
true.
yeah.
I mean, it's called a witness.
Yeah.
A witness doesn't do anything
No,
else
it's
but
read only,
witness.
yeah.
And well, of course, there's one task that witnesses have to set their mind to,
Yeah.
and that is posting units
Yeah.
in order only,
Yeah.
and at set time intervals.
Yeah.
But other than that, they can't do anything
No.
to the transactions,
Yeah.
and that's also
Yeah.
a lot of people think that these witnesses are like block creators
Yeah.
or something like that. But
Like
that's totally
miners who
not
can
true.
mine their own
Yeah.
bytes or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a common misconception. People assign more power or influence to miners or witnesses or coordinators than they really have.
Yeah.
You know, the famous 51% attack in a blockchain situation. Miners can't actually do that much. Well, miners, in case of the blockchain, miners can, you know, block certain transactions or enforce a rollback, and witnesses can't even do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's of course it is still centralized because Tony runs them all. But once they are decentralized, then I don't see. Well, then it's actually fully decentralized. Although it seems like you only have 12 witnesses, but they don't do anything to the transaction. So
and if people no longer approve of a certain witness, at any time they can always choose to kick one out and replace him with someone else. So.
True. Okay, another question. How do you feel about further decentralization? I mean, right now Tony is also the one who commits all the code and oversees all the development, and well, it's not the same, for instance, for Bitcoin.
No.
How do you see that in the future?
I think it's good if this would be phased out gradually over time. But right now, in the current stage of the project, Tony has done some tremendous work, and I think it's in the right hands right now. So I think it would be good for the project if he keeps it under his own control for another while, and if more developers join, all for the better, and then gradually the whole, control of the code base and everything can be fully decentralized.
Right.
Yeah. But it would
That's like a couple of years? Or?
Yeah, a couple of years, something like that. Yeah. Well, or as fast as the market demands.
And another question, do you think DAGs can compete with proof-of-work based systems or proof-of-stake or any other kind of consensus platform? Do they have a chance?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I want to see this grow. Instead of just, it's an interesting alternative, and I think this is one of the few approaches that actually, like I said, it solves the consensus and decentralization problem in a completely different, novel way. And yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. And let's see how it works out. If Byteball usage grows 10, 20, 50 times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's no hard-coded limit. Basically it's only limited by the speed of your bandwidth and processing power, which is always scaling up exponentially. So.
Yeah, right now there are some SQL limitations. Tony's working on performance improvements, but right now the usage is like below 1% of capacity, so it's not that important at the moment. But there has been a battle for higher TPS. I mean, some projects boast about 7K or 100K TPS or whatever. Not that anybody needs this at the moment, but it is a battle.
I don't expect anyone will need that within the next few years.
No.
But of course we have to be looking towards the future, and there should be no absolute upper limit whatsoever. I mean, it's okay if it grows there over time, but you have to keep an open mind to basically limitless capacity. And well, now that the payment channels are in development for the DAG, a little bit like Lightning Network for Bitcoin, for Byteball. These kind of off-chain solutions obviously can help a lot for the scalability as well.
Yeah. Byteball has a lot to gain from you being a witness. I mean, it helps us decentralize. But how does that work the other way around? What do you have to gain from this?
Well, it's not for the mining fees, because if Byteball will be doing very, very well, I might have a chance of earning back my electricity. So no, that's not what I'm in for this.
No.
It's partially altruistic, because I think this project deserves to grow more and grow bigger and become more widespread. And obviously I've also got a personal interest in it. I bought some bytes, and so if Byteball grows as a whole, I benefit from that as well.
Yeah, of course. Right. Okay.
And
thank you.
I just like to see. I want to see this grow. There are so many altcoins out there that are basically the same as Bitcoins, but don't really add anything. This really adds something. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Rogier. Well, we've known each other for a long time already, and I'm very grateful for you introducing me to Byteball. So I ended up
Likewise, for having
working
me
for
here
them.
as a witness, yeah.
But very nice interview.
Yeah.
And right, the next step is going to be that we're going to show this interview to the community, and then they have the choice to pick you as their witness in the wallet.
Yes.
They do have to do something for that.
Yeah.
So they have to flip a switch in the wallet
Yeah.
to not accept the default witnesses from a hub,
Yeah.
and then change the JET address, actually it is,
Yeah.
into your address.
Yeah.
And of course we're going to publish your witness
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
Have you made any security measures to prevent people from kidnapping you or whatever?
Yeah, I've my witness node is hosted in a different continent, so
Okay, that's a
one
good
step.
one.
Yeah, no, it's just some secure VPS overseas.
Alright.
It's fully encrypted. It's got Tor.
Over Tor as
yeah.
well, very
I
good.
made some encrypted backups, and besides, there's not really much to gain anyway.
No. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
No. Well, thank you very much again, and
Thank you.
I hope a lot of users are going to pick you,
So
and
much,
then
yeah.
we'll have our first decentralized witness.
Yeah, and I hope
is
many
great.
more will follow soon.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to pick Rogier as your first decentralized witness. Thank you.